Hi, it's Randy. This video is presented by Tap Success.
I almost forgot my question. I keep changing it as we get more and more into the vortex.
That's good.
What's my main concern? It's more about ego. It's more about how do I get there? Because every time I start to, let's say, move towards the vortex and get in the vortex, I seem the ego, or what I've been trained in my whole life to process, do things, look for answers, and the solutions don't come. Am I making sense?
Here's something to consider. The vibration of a question and the vibration of an answer are two different vibrations. So it takes one thing happening in your life to activate a question, but you have to be in a different place to receive the answer. Esther has discovered when she wants to talk with us about something that she has a question about, she can't pose the question and receive the answer at the same time because she can't muster both of those vibrations at the same time. So she sits with Jerry and they talk about it and they activate the question. And then she releases her concern about the unanswered question, receives Abraham in an entirely different vibration, and then the answer to the question can come. So that's an important place to start here. What do you mean when you say ego?
Well, I believe that's the part of me that's been programmed to activate my life in a certain way. It's like that I've been trained to believe both on a religious or spiritual way, but also in the business world.
So when you speak of ego in the way you just described it to us, it sounds like your ego might be holding you outside the vortex.
Yeah, that seems to be
But we want to say you were non-physical energy, and a part of that consciousness came forth to express yourself here, and we want to call the whole of that ego. We want to call what you are calling ego and what many negatively call ego, we want to call it the ability to focus into this physical environment. And we think that the distinction, that there's a lot of people really sort of bad-mouthing ego. It's a term that's been bashed about by psychologists and so on for a rather long time. And we think that what they really are getting at is ego outside the vortex, not a good thing. Ego inside the vortex, a very good thing. In other words, let's not do away with your ability to focus. Let's just focus, you see. So terminology is a little tricky, and we're not trying to uproot your beliefs. Well, we are sort of. We agree with you that there are a lot of flawed premises. The new book that Esther is releasing to the publisher in a couple of weeks, this new book talks on and on about flawed premises that people have accepted, and from the flawed premise they just can't get to the results that they're looking for because their foundation is shaky.
Yes.
So now bring us back around and ask us something specific now that we've laid a little groundwork.
Okay, well, let's go with a specific problem. Let's say finances, creating or bringing finances in. I personally work at, let's say, going into the vortex to get to that place and get out of doubt and belief that it's going to happen, that things are going to be created financially in my life. But then I get pulled out because I start to doubt. I start to think in terms of, well, this isn't going to happen, or why should it happen, or I don't have the means to have it happen.
But you see, you're identifying the problem right there. You're saying, I'm in the vortex trying to think and not in the vortex kind of thought. I can't be in the vortex saying it's not going to work. If I'm in the vortex, I've got to be talking about why I want it to work. And if I've seen anything like it ever work. And is there anything in my life that is working? And if there are other things in my life that are working, then why not this? In other words, you have to train yourself, train your ego into the conversation that allows you to think while you're in the vortex. You're hitting onto something important. You're acknowledging that it's possible to get in the vortex. Do you know you could quiet your mind as you do in meditation and get in the vortex? Do you know you could wake up every morning in the vortex before you start thinking?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So you're in the vortex And in the moment that you offer your prickly, resistant, picked it up along your physical trail, don't like me, not worthy, things aren't going well, can't afford that thought, you can't abide in the vortex. And so now you're out of the vortex, but now you've got a renewed determination to get back in there. So that's what we've been talking about here today. So let's do a focus wheel, a getting into the vortex focus wheel relative to money. So give us a statement particular to your experience that speaks to your displeasure. In other words, the reason we're doing this focus wheel is because you're acknowledging that you've got some habits of thought, pretty chronic habits of thought around the subject of money that are keeping you from being able to get in the vortex relative to the subject of money. There's plenty of money that you'd like to flow to you that isn't, and you recognize that that's the reason why. So the purpose of this is I've got chronic, meaning I offer them often, I've got chronic habitual patterns of thought relative to the lack of money that are preventing me from being in the vortex. Yes?
Yes.
Pretty well stated. So in the center of the vortex, in the center of this focus wheel, what we're reaching for is I want, I like, I love, I will, I am. Let's find the place of it. I like the resolution of resistance. I like releasing resistance, but we're still thinking about resistance, so we're not really releasing it.
Well, I think of the word allowance. I'm just allowing.
Allow is perfect words. I love the allowance of the things I seek. Pretty good? Not
good.
Quite pointed enough to the subject. I so love to allow my financial prosperity.
That feels good.
I so love to allow. I so love the feeling of allowing financial prosperity. I so love the feeling of allowing financial prosperity. I love the feeling of alignment. You do. That gets you on.
Yes.
I love being in the vortex, and I know how to get there. I love being in the vortex thinking about money. Spits you right out. I love the feeling of allowing financial well-being. That's what you're reaching for.
Right.
So, can you find anything?
No, not yet. On the outside of the wheel?
I do know it's a matter of contouring my own vibration. I do know that I can tell by the way I feel how well I'm doing.
Yes, of course.
I do know that I am good at focusing on some subjects.
Correct.
I do recognize that the subject of money is one I've negatively practiced for a while. I do know that I can change my thoughts about anything. I do know that in changing my thoughts, I can achieve more money. This focus wheel is not about getting more money. This focus wheel is about enjoying the feeling of offering no resistance about money. This is big, because you can't achieve the money that's red hot minute, but you can achieve the feeling that you're reaching for in the center of this focus wheel. I'm reaching for the feeling of relief that releasing resistance about money will give me. I love being calm about money. I love being assured about it. I love that feeling about everything. I'm beginning to understand that it's about contouring my mind, not about affecting results. I believe I can contour my mind. I do it relative to so many things. So I can do it relative to this. I'm expecting good results as I consistently hold my mind in a better feeling place. I'm there right now. I'm holding my mind in a better feeling place right now. I have found the relief I was seeking relative to the subject of the way I feel. I can't keep this up without improvement in everything in my life experience. And since this focus wheel is pointed specifically to the egotistical request, the brilliant, beautiful egotistical request for more money, then this focus wheel has served me well relative to that. And I have achieved what I've written at the beginning of this focus wheel. I am now feeling ease about the subject of alignment. I have accomplished the ease that I sought out to achieve. I did it. I've accomplished the ease that I set out to achieve. So we want you to realize that what we're wanting to assist you with is alignment, getting in the vortex. We're not wanting to assist you in getting the money. We want to assist you in getting in the vortex, because we know consistently moving into and staying in the vortex has to deliver to you the means for the money. Because when you get in there with all the cooperative components to what you've already asked for, you'll have full view of all of them. The idea will occur. You'll be in the right place at the right time. You'll run into somebody. It will unfold for you in a meaningful way. It is so much better for you to acknowledge that you've been putting things into the vortex, and acknowledge that you haven't always been in the vortex, and recognize the emotion that you've been feeling as the indicator of how you're doing, and then to do some focus wheels and some rampages of appreciation until you move yourself deliberately into the range of the focus wheel, and then to feel the enlivened clarity that you find because you're in there, and then to see the rendezvous begin to happen, and to actually feel, just like you've got your hands in the clay, the molding of this experience. In other words, friends, you think that you want to just out of the blue have some big pile of money fall from the sky and drop into your lap or into your yard. And we promise you, while you think you want that, it is ever so much more exhilarating for you to carve it out bit by bit as you have been doing, and then to move into alignment with it bit by bit, and then watch the comfortable and easy and natural hands in the clay unfolding of the prosperity that you want and deserve, and that is there for you, that you just moved in to meet.